Welcome to. Oh God, I can't believe it. We did. Welcome to the season finale of the Trying Art Podcast. I'm your host, Magnus X, and this is my co-host, Lily Valor. And due to the unfortunate event of us somehow meeting each other on a dark alleyway, having the same target in a weird cross hitman situation. Once a week, we get together to talk about art while making art. What's the temperature today, Lily Valor?
Oh, wow. What an intro that was. Yeah, that was a pretty dark alley. The temperature today is, I want to say 5.4. 5.4.
All right.
Yeah. We're a little bit above the neutral needle there.
Hey, I for context, yesterday I asked Lily what would a 10-day look like, and she told me it was very sweet.
It's pretty chill.
Yeah, it was very like it's kind of sweet but also sad because
What?
no, because it's sad because you ask a 10-day. You ask for so little, like.
Oh. Now you say it like that. Damn.
Like,
Just some peace,
your requirement for a 10, like 50%, like in order to get you
It was
to
mostly
approach,
just silence.
yeah, like 50% of your 10-day is like just nobody fucking bother.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, it's just like, oh, that's so you really didn't want much, like.
Yeah, exactly. I don't need a lot to be happy. I just can never fucking get it.
God,
Anyway.
this is sad.
What's your temperature?
I'm at like a 5.
Okay.
I'm at like a solid neutral. I'm overcoming being sick, which is nice.
Yeah, you sound better.
I don't sound like the hottest of ass. Just lukewarm ass.
Lukewarm.
It's been a weird week. And I don't really know what to do with it. I've been thinking a lot about everything, I guess. It's weird.
Yeah.
As you get okay. There's a saying that like as you get older, you start to like reminisce more.
Yeah.
And you think about stuff more. You just not like in them, but like you're
You have more
now.
of your life to reflect on.
Yeah.
Than you ever have before.
Yeah, and so now I feel like I do a lot more check-ins mentally of like, yo, what the fuck is going on? And and a lot of times I feel like I don't really have an answer.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely been a lot more like check-ins of just, hey, stuff is happening, what to do. And that includes, but also there's a lot of there's a lot of been a reflection of like what I'm doing right, what am I doing wrong. There's a lot of that. And
Hey.
and what can I do to be better. And then
Yeah, like making a plan for yourself in a way, right?
yeah, and I'm terrible at planning, especially for my own stuff. I feel like I have a better time planning things when it comes to not my stuff, where I feel responsible for other people. When it comes to me being a Magnus, definitely a hard time doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, this week has been weird in a lot of ways because I don't know how to transition into this cleanly, and I was trying to do it, but I can't. So you probably already know if you're listening to this. and if you don't, Akira Toriyama, who is the individual who who made Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. He also made like Doctor Slump. He also made a lot of other like weird things. He also is deeply like his. You can find his art style in like Dragon Quest and Chrono Trigger. I remember I played my first Dragon Quest game like a couple of years ago, and it was one of my favorite RPGs ever. There's this thing where people in different countries speak in different accents, but the accents are in the way that they talk. So there's a country where people speak entirely in haiku, and that's their like quote unquote accent. And there are countries where people speak entirely in rhyme, like, and that's their accent. And so the cool thing in the game is as you're traveling to different cities, you'll meet somebody who speaks in haiku, and you're like, oh, I know what country you're from because I just went there, even though they're like a different, like, it's so cool because like I recognize your accent, but the accent isn't like a voice acted thing. It's
right.
it's like the way that they talk in the game, which is like in like poem or like things like that.
Yeah,
um
it's pretty cool.
yeah, it's really cool. One of my favorite games. Has like really awesome deep story. If you ever want to play a Dragon Quest game, play Dragon Quest 11. It's amazing. But Dragon Ball has been like hugely influential in so much stuff. A lot of people call Akira Toriyama like the godfather of manga. He like for America, like Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon were like two of the breakout series to like come overseas and like dominate, and like it exposed so much. And then the cool thing that Akira Toriyama is like Dragon Ball Z like almost birthed like the second generation of major series with like Bleach and Naruto and One Piece, and it's been so long that generation has birthed another generation of significant series like My Hero Academia and like Demon Slayer. So there's been like, so Akira Toriyama like sits atop of this like almost atop of this pedestal.
He has like great grandchildren.
Yeah, where like he's created like this like this chain of inspiration like down the line, which is incredible. And then like Osamu Tezuka, who's like the OG, like the original guy who like started the manga industry and the modern industry as we know it. Like before he died, like he talked about how amazing Akira Toriyama is, and so Akira Toriyama is like the like second greatest person in the entire industry of like anime and manga in terms of just how prolific and significant he was. And I remember I was thinking like last night when I heard about it, I was thinking of like my favorite weirdest memory about Dragon Ball Z, which is there's a character named Trunks who has like purple hair.
Oh yeah, Trunks.
Yeah, and he's like and like when he first gets introduced, this is before like we had like easy access to the internet, we can look stuff up. He gets introduced, and there's this episode where he gets introduced, he kills Frieza, he's a Super Saiyan, nobody knows who the fuck, like what the fuck is going on. Like my middle school brain is like buzzing with like questions, and my sister who's 3 years older than me is in high school, and she comes home from school and she goes, Magnus, my friend told me that Trunks is from the future and he's Vegeta's and Bulma's son. And I was like, there's no fucking way that's real. Like you're telling me this fight show with aliens has time travel and the character with purple hair is like the birth son of like one of the villains in both. I was like, there's no, like, I was just like, what? No, like what? No way. Like, and then like the episode came out like a week later, and like Trunks is like, I'm from the future, and I'm like, holy shit. How did he find out this information? Like, and it was so cool, and it was so weird, and as you all know, listeners to the podcast, I'm Magnus. I'm a narrative genius, and something I really appreciate about Dragon Ball is that like it represents this kind of like a lot of people give Dragon Ball shit for having like this very like almost broken storytelling aspect to it because it feels kind of random and out of place and like it doesn't always stick to landing. Um, there's like lore about like Super Saiyan only exists because Akira Toriyama got tired of inking black hair, and so he made like Super Saiyan blonde because uh he wouldn't have to keep drawing black ink, and he can make drawing faster. And Super Saiyan is like one of the most prolific, like like fantasy transformations of all time.
Right.
And it's because the old dude didn't want to draw with black ink anymore. It's a wild thing to say. There's the story of how like in the Android Saga, which is one that Trunks like appears in, like it started with like a clown and an old man as a villain, but then the editor was like, they're not scary, make another one. And then there's the story of what he made these like androids 17 to 18, but then they're like, oh, these look like teenagers, make them scary. And then you get Cell, who's like this monster with a tail that like sucks people inside of him, and he like stabs them, and he like drains their body. You watch them melt, and there are these scenes where he's just walking through these empty ghostland cities, and all you see is just discarded clothes and like broken window, and it's like a horror movie. And you can see when you look back at all of Dragon Ball, like how he takes all these different elements, and he jumps genres. He jumps from like fantasy to sci-fi. He brings all these things together, and they feel weird and almost random, like they shouldn't come together, but they do. And I think it kind of represents like this aspect of storytelling that I think a lot of people kind of lose track of, where they think that you have to do something right when you tell a story, and they have to like follow a certain rule or fit in a certain mold, so because it won't be good unless it's right. And I think Akira Toriyama, for me specifically, represents this idea that like, don't try to make something good. Just make something even if it's something where it's like, I just don't want to do this anymore, so I'm going to draw this differently, or I'm going to tell this story differently. Or I don't know, I watched the polar bear like I don't know, I watch polar bear videos, and so I'm gonna do the deathly polar bear arc in my story. And
yeah, it doesn't need, and you're like, I feel like people are so quick to be like, oh, that idea is stupid, or like, nah, like whatever, like that wouldn't work, or like that whatever. But it's like, dude, if that's what you're feeling, there's literally nothing stopping you from just fucking doing it.
Exactly. Like, and I think, and I think Akira Toriyama represents a big aspect of that. Of just like, there's no such thing as a bad idea. I believe this wholeheartedly, and I say this all the time to everybody. I think any story can be a good story. Any story possible. Like, all stories can be good. Your job, if you want to tell a story, is to figure out how to tell that story well. But there is no limit to what you can put in your story, what type of story it has to be. Like, none of that matters. The only thing that works is, like, the only thing that matters is how you tell that story. And even if not every aspect of it is great, like, as long as it sticks and it resonates with somebody, you told a good story. And I think so much of Dragon Ball, like, resonated like with me in that way, where there are so many moments where it's like, oh, that wasn't necessarily like awesome or great, or like it didn't like break the mold, but there's so many moments that like I look back on, that like I see my friends look back on, like I see in these new series that come out that are inspired by it, like all of those moments are like, like you can see like the inspiration behind it. It's like, like, say what you have to say, but like that man told a good story, and you can tell because
look at it. Just look at it. It's one of those things where like you can't. It's just simply undeniable.
It's simply undeniable. Yeah, that's it. Now I'm sorry, Lily. Cause I know I was gonna go on this whole big Akira Toriyama rant. Cause
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
he's significant.
Yeah.
In a lot of things that I do. But I also know that like the last thing you are emotionally invested in is the death of a character in
Oh,
Dragon
that's
Ball Z.
okay.
So I appreciate you letting me have my 10-minute soapbox
Of course.
to talk about this amazing strange man that has had an impact on me in a lot of things
So
that I
many
do.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Now, with that being said, Miss Fowler, is all great things come to an end, including this
Okay,
the
that
season
was.
of this podcast.
Oh my god.
I told you I'm not good at transitions.
Jeez. Neither am I. This is. I couldn't have done it any better anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, season finale. Speaking of anime, there we go. Speaking of anime, we're a living, breathing one, and this is episode 10.
uh,
And you know what, Magnus? I'm honestly impressed that we're here right now.
Me too.
Wow. Episode 10 seemed like a fever dream. Actually, this podcast as a whole was a fever dream.
every day I wake up and check the channel. I'm like, nah, it's real.
It's still there.
It's still there.
It is still there. It is still there.
Like a nightmare I can't wake up from.
Yeah. But we're here. And yeah, I don't know. It feels kind of crazy. It's kind of funny to think about how I don't know, I think about how we call it trying art. But, at the end of the day, we were really trying this podcast, which podcasts are art too. Hey, we're creating a thing and tinkering with it and putting some sketches down and erasing them and all that good stuff. But it's really cool. I'm really happy to be here. So what's our plan moving forward?
No fucking clue. Now, before we talk about moving forward, can we talk about the past for a little bit?
Sure, yeah.
I want to ask you some questions that I did not plan. This just happened to me.
Here we go.
Was there ever a moment or episode where you were like, this isn't going to make it? We are not. We're not gonna.
To be honest with you, let me think. I feel like I can't think of an exact moment or like anything in conversation that happened, but I definitely feel like in the earlier episodes, there's definitely something somewhere. I feel like it must have been episode like 3, like way in the beginning or something, where I did feel this slight tinge of, if this is how it's gonna be, I don't think it can be. But that was just growing pains. We just didn't know what we were doing, and then at some point, but it smoothed out. I had faith.
I don't know what conversation we were having. I just imagine in the back of your head going, "Yeah, this isn't gonna last."
Yeah, totally.
Oh man.
I just imagine we do the podcast and I'm like sitting in a dark room. Like if you just imagine like the scene is just like, it's like an isometric room or whatever, and it's just like completely dark except for like the laptop screen, and you can see my silhouette with my headphones like talking, and then like you just see my character being like, haha, like, bye Magnus, and then it's like click, and I just like take my headphones off and sit there and stare quietly in the darkness with the laptop screen.
Just thinking to yourself like, I can't keep doing this. Can't keep living this life.
But then it was like then the scene cuts and it's like back to like bright and sunny morning, and how in anime they have like the sunlight coming through the curtains and stuff. Yeah. Anyway, it's fine.
At the end of every podcast episode, I just go outside and I smoke a cigarette.
Oh no.
And I just think to myself, another week.
It starts raining.
I
Oh my
let the water
god.
hit me. I don't even go inside. It's just
Yeah.
so I can feel something again.
The water puts out like your cigarette and you just like sigh and stomp it on the ground.
But
Anyway, yeah, one time I think yeah. It didn't linger. I remember it was just like a tinge of a moment.
it okay now. I'm asking you the opposite question.
Okay.
Was there ever a moment when you thought, um, okay, I think this is gonna work?
Yeah. I can't think of an exact moment for that either, but I definitely
Hmm.
felt that feeling
Okay.
already at some point.
I think for me, episode 3, I was like, we're fucked.
Yeah.
I I'm sorry.
That's so funny because I also said episode.
Yeah, I thought that too. But yeah, I was like episode 3, where there's no fucking way this is gonna work. Um, I don't see a world in which we emotionally recover from this. Um, episode 3 was that episode for me, and then I think like episode 5. I recently had a friend talk about episode 5, like listen to episode
Oh
5,
yeah.
and he was like kind of like live texting me as he was listening to it. I think so. One of my favorite things is like small victories. I love small victories. I think they keep me from losing my freaking mind.
Mhm.
And I think the small victories episode was like one of my favorites because I felt like we hit a nice stride,
Mhm.
and I don't know, it was good. I also feel like the last episode we did, episode 9, I overslept. Like, and I felt horrible because I've been on it for like all the episodes before. I always hit up Lily, like leading up to the podcast, what we're gonna talk about. Like, I set everything up. I do everything. I try to be on it. I'm always up before Lily. Like, I'm always here, like getting everything, because I wanted it, one, to be like, hey, this is a responsibility. I want to take it seriously, and so it made me feel horrible to oversleep, and I don't know what made me over. I think it was because I was still sick, and I
Yeah.
also like went to the
Yeah. I
gym,
mean,
like, and everything
yeah.
just
It made
compounded.
sense.
And but I still felt bad because like, this was a responsibility, and I did not meet it. But I think me feeling that way felt good because it was like, the fact that I care enough that I feel bad that I miss a day. And like, to the fact that I woke up at like 5 o'clock this morning.
Oh my
uh,
god.
because I have no chill. But I was like the fact that I felt bad to the point where I want to make sure I don't do that again. I was like, this is a good sign that I want to keep doing this. And so I think those two feelings are like, I think those are my two feelings of like, hey, I want to keep doing this. I want to make this work.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, I just wanted to
Yeah.
ask you, uh, yeah, those
Yeah.
questions.
The podcast temp, like the actual podcast temp.
Yeah, I want to. Yeah,
Yeah.
I genuinely want to know, like, hey, was there a point where you were ready to check out, or you ready, ready to just give up on this? And it's nice to know you're like, yeah,
Totally.
yeah,
Yeah, I think what's funny about those questions is that it shows that we've thought about it.
mm,
It shows that we continue to make this a choice, right? We still decided to show up and do this.
mm-hmm,
And thinking about it outside of the podcast, I think is a good sign too.
mm-hmm,
Where even if I was like, even in that moment where I was like, this ain't it, I
mm-hmm,
still was like, it's still the beginning and we just got started.
mm-hmm,
And so I'm like, I'm just gonna give it some time. And that's why I didn't say anything either.
mm-hmm.
Um, and also it's just like, yeah, I just recognized it was gonna take some time to like get figured out. and even for me to like be comfortable as well. And so I just figured that's all it was, and it turns out that is all it was.
Yeah.
I will say though,
Oh God.
and you just said a lot of nice things, but the day that you overslept, the first thing you did was blame me. Let me just say, I was genuinely annoyed at you for like a hot minute for that one. Because I was on time and I was waiting for you, and I tried to contact you multiple times to get you awake. Yeah. I even sent the security notifications to your phone as a text message twice, and somehow that didn't do anything. And so I was like, this dude right now, I'm like, but I also understood because you were going through a lot. So then I was like, okay, like he definitely just overslept and it's probably fine. It's not like you forgot or something. And so then and so then I was like, okay, whatever. And then you blamed me, and I was like, how dare you blame me in this moment? But I was like, you know what? He just woke up, so it's fine. I'll just let it go.
I don't even remember what I said. What did I say?
I don't remember exactly what you said either. I just remember being mad, so. I just remember being mad, and I was like, bro, you can't just blame me. But I know you didn't mean it. You didn't like say it in a way where I was like, okay, he's actually blaming me. But I remember I was just like, ugh, don't even.
Nah, I felt like, I hope you would.
No, I do, yeah, for sure. I know. I was like, this is just a defense mechanism. He also just woke up.
Mm-hmm. Also, it felt funnier to blame you than to just be like, oh no.
Of course.
I made a mistake.
Obviously. No, it's all good. It was just funny.
Yeah, it was really funny. I'm sorry I genuinely upset you. Although I do try to make it my goal to ruin your day.
You know what it is? I found it. Well, I think what actually annoyed me here, I said, don't even, so you said the thing, which is whatever, and then I said, don't even try blaming me right now, and you immediately responded, looking pretty blamable. And I...
W response for me, I got it.
I was so angry in that moment. I was like, wow, I'm never doing this podcast ever again.
Oh, man. Yeah, the season finale was definitely going to be a series finale.
That's what you get for asking these questions.
Oh, man. Oh, God. Well, I guess we're not coming back.
No, we're coming back. But before we come back, we've got some stuff to set up.
Yeah, I would like to say this season is this is our jank season. This is somebody told us we had a week to put together a podcast, and this is what we came up with, and it is a mess.
We just got hired here. They didn't really train us that well, so we're just learning on the fly.
The assets were made in like 45 seconds, and they were just repurposed stuff that we had in the trash. There are no thumbnails. We never plan out any episodes except for like a couple of days in advance. There are times when we just didn't even know what the hell we were going to talk about. It has been us winging it from day one, and mostly, and check me if I'm wrong on this, but mostly like the first couple of episodes of us doing this is mostly just to see, do we like each other enough to meet once a week?
Yeah, right. No, for sure.
And mandatorily, and talk to each other while working, or are we just happy not doing that? Because life's a lot easier to be happy not doing that.
Right. Yeah, it's a lot less infuriating, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And so, it was a real moment. I was going like, do we really want to do this? And
I think it was good. It was good, I think, to test it out.
Yeah.
And like, yeah.
And we figured out the answer to that question was maybe.
Right. Yeah, I think we had to do a test run in a way before we could commit fully. But I think now that we've done our test run, we can take it fully now.
So, have you thought like about and we've had this conversation a little bit off screen, but like, have you thought about like what do you want the future like what do you see for season 2 going forward for the podcast? Like, is there anything specifically you want Lily in terms of for this podcast to look like or function or be for season 2 going
well
on?
yeah, I definitely think that we should at some point get some guests on here, even if it's like once a month, so like once every like 3 or 4 episodes, or even every episode, or no, maybe not, maybe every other episode at the most. Something like that, just to get some other points of views and just also learn about more people, and have a lot more variation in conversation. Not that we don't have variation, but it's only our 2 perspectives and experiences and stuff like that. So I definitely imagine that it would probably be more community oriented, I guess, in the way that we actually get other people involved rather than just having them there as an audience. So there's that. At some point here, probably more, I mean, we're working on it, but like more cohesive visuals. So then it kind of has like a bit more of an identity. But that's all stuff we can work on during this 2-week break that we're taking.
Yeah. I would have said it.
Just making sure.
Was there, when you think of, and I'm putting you on the spot.
It's alright.
But like, when you think of visuals, is there anything that you would like in particular? On the
No, I don't think I've thought that far.
Okay. I just wanted to ask.
Yeah.
You have like a week to figure it out.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, I also like the idea of having guests. I'm pretty picky. Like, I'm weird about guests on podcasts because I usually like the dynamic of who's there, but I also like the idea of like having people like what's what I'm looking for, like once a month, just to have more people.
Yeah,
here. We have a lot of art friends we can talk to. Something that I feel that I fucked up on when it comes to this gosh darn podcast is I did not come into this with a full brain in terms of what art I was actually going to try.
Yeah, that's okay. This whole thing was on a whim.
Yeah. So the thing that kind of bugs me, and no one has made this their problem but me. Lily doesn't like go out and yell at me saying like your art was shit this week, Magnus, so do better. She does that to me outside of the podcast.
Excuse me?
But like something.
I'm nice, for the record.
That's a lie. But anyway, that's something that really I didn't account for was that like there were projects I wanted to do for the podcast. Like I started on my little sister Magical Girl, and then I wanted to do the animation for you, and then I kind of just started doing like a bunch of random things, and I didn't plan out any of these like super extensively, so I didn't really have like a through line on how to do some of these things, and so I kept running into roadblocks. So I was like, oh. I didn't plan this out. I don't know what to do here now. And it kind of made everything feel a little bit more random, and I didn't like that. What I really wanted this podcast to be is I wanted it to be something. There are a lot of podcasts where people kind of just do art randomly, and I would like us to do that more in the future at some point. But what I wanted it to be is something that really makes me happy. is when you see people talk about, oh hey, I'm gonna start this project, and you actually see them finish it.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of times, especially on the internet, you hear a lot of bold proclamations of I'm gonna make X, or I'm gonna start X, or I'm gonna do Y, and then you'll never hear from that person again. They are dead to the world. They do not exist. Whatever ambition they had has long since died. That classic YouTuber thing where it's like, hey guys, like I know I haven't made a video in 6 months, like, but in their last three videos are like why they are all talking about why they took a break from the last video and how this time they're back at it again, more serious, and before they do the same thing again.
Yeah.
I don't want that to happen, and so my goal, desperately, is to finish a project for this goddamn podcast.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, I think that's definitely doable.
Yeah. So for season 2, I want to come in like that's one of the reasons. Another reason why I'm taking a 2-week break is I want to actually take some time to plan out how these projects are gonna go, like the work process for it,
Mm-hmm.
and make sure I know what I'm kind of working on a week to week basis. We also have been talking about doing more just chill streams because these projects are so big. Like a lot of what Lily, oh, this is looking really good by the way, Lily.
Thank you.
A lot of what Lily does is like off screen or like off stream for her
Yeah.
stippling projects because there's no way she could do these in 1 hour a week. It take her forever. Um, Especially with our other sibling projects. And the same thing for animation. I couldn't make a full animation in like a week. So something I want to do going forward is um, I do want us to have more kind of like just work streams where we're sitting here and we're just working on our stuff. You can check out
Mm-hmm.
Lily's work streams on her personal channel, and you can check out like work streams on like some of the animation projects and stuff we're working on this channel, and there'll be a lot more chiller vibe. They won't be like the podcast, but if you also have a project you want to work on, maybe you can come be productive with us and just like chill out
Yeah.
and relax.
I like that. That sounds like a good idea
Yeah.
to me. Yeah. I feel like that. That way you can supplement the channel and um, yeah, just different vibes for
Mhm.
on different days for different needs.
Yeah, I think we call it the Triangle Art Podcast, and I think for me, like the significance of that is, like the significance of that is just for the love of God, like finishing something.
Yeah.
like congratulations. Step one is to start something, and I'm so glad you made it to that step. A lot of people don't even do that.
Right.
Step
But then.
two, you gotta go a little bit further and finish something, and that can be
Very hard to do.
a beast, especially when
Yeah.
yeah. So I do, yeah, I want to facilitate an environment where we can do that. If that makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's it. So and also I want more cool assets. I feel like we don't have any cool assets.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of reasons for that. So
uh,
we'll get to
yeah. Yeah, the reason is mostly just it's hard, and I haven't done it before.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll work on that. We'll work on that. We'll work on that. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else?
Yeah, I feel like that was kind of it for
But
me.
what? Yeah, but
I feel
like,
like
but
I
like,
know.
but there's so much of this stuff. All right, can we talk about the elephant in the room?
Yeah, sure.
The how the hell are we gonna get people to listen to this? Like,
Well,
yeah.
this is why I was like, we need a cohesive visual,
Uh huh.
so that way we can create things
Okay.
Yeah, assets. But the thing is, you need to have an aesthetic or like a brand identity or some sort of theme that you want to stick to,
Guys, if you
so
didn't
it's
know,
recognizable. And
Lily.
we don't have any of that set up right now, so it's kind of hard to tell people about the concept without having anything to show.
Yeah, hey guys, two things. One, if you didn't know, Lily used to like push a brand in her
Oh,
in
here
her
we
old
go.
times. She was a clothes lady. That's, that's what he calls you, right? That was your official title, clothes
Yeah, that was it,
lady.
yeah.
Where she did clothes things. But this
Cute.
is this is supposed to be a nice thing, and I completely ruined. um, but yeah, Lily is supposed to do like did clothes things. She did brand stuff, all that cool stuff, and and she did also do brand. I used to do marketing and brand stuff. In my heyday.
Hey, day.
Back when I was a young stud. But
All right.
all right, let me
Madness before the eggs.
before the X. God, my life before the X was full of stuff. But yeah, I think when we first started this podcast, we kind of agreed to like, hey, let's no one needs to know about this.
Yeah,
Let's
exactly. This was a test run.
let's kind of keep this on our wraps. Like no one needs to see our shame. But now that we're kind of taking it a little bit more seriously, I feel like season two is when we want to plan on like
Yeah,
shooting it out to people and distributing it and showing it to folks from all over the world.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
yeah.
feel like we kind of just like were in a sketching sort of phase with it,
hmm
and now we're approaching like drawing time.
So here's my final question to you, Lily.
Mhm.
Is do you have any goals? Like we talk about how we want it to look, what we're gonna do in the future. Do you have any goals for this podcast in terms of like what do you want it to achieve in the in season two?
Mhm. Hmm. Hmm. I want it to be a place where
hmm
people can feel comfortable. Sorry, I was
No,
thinking.
I didn't. I was rushed. I was letting you know I was listening. Gee.
Yeah, I feel like I want it to be a place where people feel comfortable and
Mhm.
like can like I want it to be casual in the sense that like you don't have to I don't want people to feel intimidated by us or like
Trust me, you don't have to worry about that at all.
yeah, we're not intimidating, but
That's
I don't know.
not.
Like I just want it to be like a chill place
Mm,
and just inspiring in a way.
okay.
And just like yeah. It's so easy to like feel bad about ourselves as artists and creative people
Mm,
that I just want this to be somewhere we can all just exist as we are without worrying about being good or bad or just make stuff. We're just making stuff. And that's all it is. And that's all it needs to be. And obviously with the podcast, I would really love to have like stickers and like maybe a t-shirt run. Sorry, I can't help it.
that's that marketing,
Um,
Lily. That's it.
sorry. Yeah, but I do. Like it just be would be fun. It'd be really fun. And yeah, just to like create this sort of vibe where maybe people can be reminded that like it can't be fun. It can also be frustrating at times, and that's like also cool too. But you'll see through the podcast that we go through these motions all the time.
Yeah,
And yet we still show up week after week and progress happens.
yeah. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Oh, those stickers are gonna be awful.
No, they're not. They're gonna be so good. I'll be in charge
all
of that.
right.
Don't worry. Yeah,
Okay.
don't worry. You don't have to worry about that.
um. Oh, that's kind of sweet. I I've always wanted to do. I love lore.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things in the world. Uh, my life is just one big awful plot. Maybe to get better, but right now, it's not a good character arc for me. But where was I going with this?
Where are you going with this?
I don't know. I
Supposed to
would.
pity you?
No,
No,
no.
I know. I'm kidding.
Yeah. I think we both equally deserve the same amount of pity, which is none at all. Um, um, I I would like I would like this to be a bastion of creativity, and I would like for us to look back on the end of the year and go, we made, like, throughout this podcast we made stuff. Um, our jank season is over. We started. And now, we enter into the season of doing the
Refinement.
thing, yeah,
Yeah.
of refinement. So from now on, the podcast is Trying Art Podcast : refinement underscore into dawn.
Very anime.
No. But yeah, I mean, in a way, yeah, I do kind of, yeah.
Yeah, but it is kind of like that, honestly.
Yeah, this is our refinement arc. This is our refinement arc. I'm really looking forward to it.
I think it's gonna be really good.
God, I really hope
I have
so.
high hopes. I have high hopes.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I also have hope. I have hope because
They don't. Yeah, they don't have to be high.
yeah. No, I think it'll be great. I think it'll work out splendidly. I do genuinely have high hopes, and I think it'll be a really cool thing in the future that we can look back on and go like, holy shit, did we actually did this and it worked. I do really want it to be an environment where we can bring in more people, have more guests, have more viewers, like make more shorts, and just make it a good podcast. I never thought I'd do like a thing like this. I remember I've done podcasts in the past with friends before, and life usually gets in the way.
Yeah. Yes, it does.
Yeah, and so I think this is probably the most consistent I've been with doing something like this. And I'm looking forward to like seeing how it pans out. There's a there's this thing that still resonates with me. I talked about this in a previous episode, but there's this thing where I think Ludwig, the YouTuber, talked about like how to be a successful like streamer or YouTuber, what have you, and he talks about like your thumbnail game and and that. But something that he said that really poked me in my ribs, was he said like you have to be proud of what you make, like. And you have to be proud of it to show your friends and your family, your parents, and stuff like that. And I am not that person. I never show anybody a goddamn.
Yeah.
I hate showing people things. And part of it is because I like being in my little glass, like my glass bubble of like, I made this, I'm happy with this, and I don't want somebody to ruin that. But I think the cool thing that this podcast is teaching me is that like I use my friend I told you about for an example. One of my oldest friends, known him since college. Um, and he told me, I told him about the podcast, and he's like, why didn't you tell me about you were doing a podcast? And I was like, it just doesn't seem important. And then he said, well, can I listen to it? And I told him, it's bad. Sorry, Lily, but I told him like it's bad. We have audio issues. It's not good. Don't listen to it. It's bad. And he told me, he's like, I don't care. I want to listen to it because he's a good friend. And he's always said this to me with anything that I made. And I always go, don't. No. Don't look. Don't see your friend try something and be horrible at it. And then no matter how many times I say that, he always goes, just show it. Like, I don't care. And whenever he makes something, I always like look at it and we always talk about it and things like that. And, he really enjoyed listening to the podcast and all the issues and stuff. He didn't really care about that. He was just like, it was fun. He said he finished an episode and he said, hey, I'm gonna go listen to another one, which I think is probably the highest compliment you can get.
Definitely, that's definitely a compliment.
Yeah, when it comes to doing a podcast, and I appreciated it. But it reminded me of something that's like, I should be. It was a good lesson in like, I'm too old.
You're too old to worry about other people ruining something you like.
Yeah, but not only that, I'm too old. Not even worrying about people ruining it for me. I'm too old to hide stuff. In general, because like I'm still gonna like it. Whether people hate it or not. I think in my head though, I didn't see a reason. I never saw a reason to show other people stuff. Because I was like, well, if I like it, why the fuck do y'all?
Right, yeah, no, I get that
too. Why do y'all matter? Y'all suck. Like, y'all,
that's like if I go to a really good coffee shop and I'm like, dude, I love this coffee shop. And I don't tell anyone about it and I never take any of my friends there with me.
Yeah. Or
that's like kind of what that's like.
Or you go to a good coffee shop, or you go to a guy, and he makes the best coffee, or just a really good coffee. Not even the best in the world. He makes a good coffee. You know it's a good coffee, and he's like, "Can I drink that?" He's like, "No, fuck you." I'm not gonna run the risk of you not liking my coffee.
Yeah. Okay, I see. And
I was like, well, I just wanted to try it. And maybe you don't like it, but you're never gonna get that chance. And so, this podcast, to bring it back around, like I think this podcast is a great lesson in, like maybe look.
This is a great window into your world.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
Like, you otherwise would never have opened up to anyone.
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah, that's a little dramatic, but like.
Yeah. I what you said. Yeah, what you said, but more. Yeah, along the lines of just that, like, hey, this is a thing, and this is a good opportunity to go. Look, I made something. It's mine, and I mean it's ours, but you know what I mean. And I made something. It's ours, and if you want to enjoy it, you can, and that's it. And you have the option to, and you don't, and that's it. It's giving people the option. It's not assuming people will hate it or dislike it or going like, well, I'm the only one who cares about it. I'm the only one who matters. It's going like, hey, this is a thing, and I invite you to enjoy it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good way to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of how it is. I think, like with with doing stuff, especially online. It is hard to like share sometimes, especially like whenever you feel like you're just like throwing it into the void. You're like, well, what's the point? Like I'll just keep it to myself. But like it really, you never know who's out there. Have you watched the movie Belle yet?
No, I haven't.
You haven't? Okay.
No.
There's a scene in that I'm thinking of right now, which it would spoil it, so I'm not even gonna say it.
Okay.
But when you do watch it, there is a moment that this is reminding me of where you just never know who's out there. And sometimes you know, the things you like and the things you enjoy are all part of what you're expressing in the things that you make and do and talk about. And someone out there could maybe need to hear that or feel the same way. And so that's why it's important to put it out there.
Yeah. So, if you're listening and you're making stuff, don't be a coward.
Oh my god. Okay, say it to yourself.
Yeah, I am saying it to myself, but like you said, some people may need to hear it.
Oh my god, it's not what I meant. It's not what I meant.
Can I? I'm putting you on blast here as well.
That's alright.
Can I ask you for one thing that I've been wanting to ask you to do for the podcast?
Yeah.
But I know how busy you are, and I know you hate this.
It's okay.
So I'm adding both of those caveats to this.
I could just say no.
You could.
Alright, go on.
But I realize a lot of times when I do this podcast with you, I am randomly watching some stupid shit. I just usually just randomly watch some stupid shit. Or like watch a random anime or something. Or a movie. And a lot of times...
Oh, I see where this is going.
Yeah, and a lot of times you have no fucking clue what I'm talking about. And you very politely sit and listen. And I appreciate that. And I'm not saying we have to do this every episode. But I think it would be nice.
Would you like me to educate myself?
No, that's not what I was gonna say.
Okay.
Also, that sounds sexist from my.
Okay, whatever. I didn't mean it like that.
I know. It's just like, woman, can you educate yourself with me? No, what I was gonna say is, I don't want it to be me going, Lily, these are 3 things that you need to check out. I want it to be an exchange where I want you to be like, Magnus, you have to try this.
Okay.
And vice versa.
Alright.
Now you can't say no.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's okay.
Okay.
I'm down.
Alright, you can say no though.
No, it's all good.
Are you sure? Like you can.
Yeah, no, it's really fun.
I mean, because I know.
Like something to watch or like do or look at or like
Anything.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's fine. I can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fine.
Okay. That's it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay. That's not that hard.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. It sounded like it was gonna be way more like time consuming and like complicated, but no, I can definitely do that.
I don't know how you are sometimes. Yeah.
It depends on what side of the bed I wake on.
Yeah. Some days
I'm not about anything, and some days I'm fine.
Yeah. Some days you're completely chill, and some days you're like, another fucking thing. Are you serious, Magnus? And I'm like, I'm so sorry.
That is so accurate. That's so accurate. Sometimes like, coming into the podcast, I'm like, today's going to be a great day, and we're going to do this podcast. And other days, I'm like, this podcast is going to ruin my life.
It's like going to the gym.
Yeah, totally. It's like going to the gym. The most important thing is that you show up.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most important thing. Just show up.
Sure.
What you do after that is kind of a variable, but the constant is to show up.
It is. It is.
Yeah. That being said, when's the next time we're gonna show up?
That's a good question.
Okay. So, I believe. Wait, I'm pulling up a calendar, so I'm correct.
Okay.
I believe we're gonna take 2 episodes off. Two quote unquote episodes off. And we'll be back on March 29th.
Oh my god, at the end of the month.
At 10:30. Yeah, I mean, we could do the 22nd if you wanted. If that leaves us enough time, which I mean it might, honestly, so.
It might.
Okay, well then, okay, should we aim for the 22nd then?
No, let's look. I know us. I know our lives. Let's give us.
Yeah, let's just make sure we're situated properly.
I almost assume that between now and the 29th, something unfortunate is gonna happen. I don't know to which one of us. I just assume it'll be one of us.
Yeah, we'll find out in the next intro.
Yeah, and I want to be mentally prepared for that. But I promise you guys, when we come back, it will be cool-ish.
Cooler.
There will be look. The bar right now is on the floor, and I promise you, we will be above. We will be above it, just not by much. Yeah.
I mean, that sounds fine.
Yeah.
Well, Magnus.
Well, no.
It's been real.
Wait, Lily.
What?
Wait, Lily, before we end the podcast. She's out the door. Guys, y'all can't see it. Lily is, like, she has her backpack on. She's moving from the desk. Like, she's walking towards...
You can literally see... Okay.
She's walking towards the desk. She's walking out. You can
literally see my hands.
She's walking out of the room, guys, and I am desperately trying to finish something. So give me a second. Just banter.
What? Okay. What? All right. Okay.
Just banter.
Yeah. No, it's all good. I am really excited for what this podcast is going to offer, both to us individually, but also to our future viewers. I think that we're on to something really special, and I don't want to let that go. So, we are taking this break.
Yeah.
But we are going to be back. And when we're back, we're going to have new graphics, we're going to have new structure, and we're going to have some new guests as well.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, do you have any guests in mind that you are like, oh, this person?
We have to get on here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Cool. I'm almost certain that it's the same person.
Would it happen to be a friend of the show, Julio?
Yeah, sounds
yeah.
Right, yeah.
Something like that, right? Yeah, of course.
It seems the most accurate person to get on the podcast. We have to he's so busy now being like,
yeah, he is
successful, and all the women that are after him constantly.
There's not, just for the record, there's not.
But look, ladies, if you want that shot, y'all better get.
Hey, not here.
I'm just letting y'all know.
Time and place.
You won't be on the record for. Okay.
There's like a crowbar, like slowly coming out.
I know.
Yeah.
No. I'm not allowed to hype up my friends. Because apparently I go too far.
Who are you trying to blame right now?
Everybody. Me? Is it me? Is it my fault?
Usually.
It really is.
It's kind of the truth.
Yeah. No!
What happened?
Tuxedo Pink crashed.
Oh, that's just sad.
Oh my god.
Wow.
If there's a God in heaven, he just spat in my
Yeah,
mouth and called me a
switch to my full
whore.
screen real quick.
Hold on, switch it down.
What happened?
It
How many
crashed.
layers?
No, it just crashed. I was clicking on stuff while it was auto saving and it crashed.
Wait, that means it didn't save.
I do not know.
Okay.
But if it didn't save, then this is gonna be a very sad end to the season.
Aww. No.
It happens. It happens. This is why I got guys. This is why I was saying that. Like, this is why I gotta plan more. So things like this doesn't occur. And
Yeah.
I'm sitting here crying
Right.
and sadness and sorrow.
Sadness and sorrow.
Sadness and sorrow. I can't believe it crashed on me.
Yeah. That's pretty wild, to be honest.
Of all the things that happened on the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
Clip,
I was also trying to, you told me to banter, so I did.
and I appreciate the banter. Okay, just for context, everybody. I've been using Clip Pink for years, and I used to do this all the time. I have not had a crash in so long.
And for it to happen on the podcast, too. That's just
Wow.
cool.
It just undid everything.
No.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's devastating.
It was bad. I was trying to like do a rush job, so I'm not too hurt about it. But yeah, this was a bummer. Do you want to see what I was doing?
Yeah.
Alright.
Is that why I had to hold?
Yeah, because I wanted to end the podcast on a note where I finished something. Not finished like good, but like I finished the scene.
No, that's so sad. Nice. This is what you were explaining. Oh, this is what the animation that you were explaining before with the speeds.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very simple animation. So I was gonna
Yeah,
do
that's cool.
I was
Yeah.
gonna do it where like it cuts to the screen. There's gonna be like a screaming mouth, and there's gonna be like speed lines behind it, and then there's gonna be like a beam and all this other stuff. And I was at the beam part, and I had like 4 more frames, and then it crashed. And that's it. So instead of getting all of that, you just got this, which is what I finished like an hour ago. So
That's okay. It's still really cool.
I appreciate that.
It is really, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
I couldn't possibly.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, we do not end this podcast on a high note.
No, it's still great.
Yeah,
But you know what? You know what? Even if these little obstacles, even when you feel moments of loss, just keep showing up.
Yeah. Keep showing up.
Keep doing it.
We'll see you guys in 3 weeks.
3 weeks, technically, yeah, on the 29th.
We'll see you guys on the 29th. I hope you look forward to season 2 of the Trying Art podcast. Lily will continue amazing you with her stippling and dots. I will continue to moderately not disappoint with our projects. And we will have more conversations and more random things to discuss. I'm really looking forward to figuring out. In fact, I'm declaring right now, within these 3 weeks, both me and Lily will give the other person something to watch or play or enjoy, and we'll talk about it on the start of season 2.
Sounds good to me. Take it away, Magnus.
Look, Wait, is it? We also figure out what the outro is.
Oh well, you kept throwing me fast ones, so I threw you one. You've got the
outro. All right. Lily, despite the world's protests, are we the best in the world?
We are. See you on the 29th.
See you on the 29th. Bye, everyone.